And welcome to another episode of In the Library of Graphic Literature with your reluctant hosts, Luna and Wallace.
How are you doing this fine evening?
Wonderful. We have a new cat.
Yes, we do. And shall we tell the people his name?
Put that in the trash can. It's been a toss-up on the new name, actually.
It has.
Yeah. But after a few days of learning his personality, we have decided on Loki. God of mischief.
And he actually does, I think, really match the name.
I shall go fetch.
Because this cat is mischievous, and he's a bit of a troublemaker too. He's mischievous, and he's of course an all-black kitty. And here he is. For audiences worldwide, we introduce to you Loki. Also a comic-loving cat. And can you see him there, actually, in the mirror? No, you can see him. Okay. Okay, I guess we can let him roam around a bit.
Excellent.
Although he's liable to start hauling down the camera like right away. He goes right for the camera leg. The lighting. He'd much rather go for the lighting. Maybe one moment. He will have to go back out, because otherwise he will explore a bit too deeply, and we'll never get him out of the library. Okay. Oh, a quick announcement from the folks who brought you Nobody's in Control. Patrick Hinlin, Paul Tucker, my good buddy, and me.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah. Comes a brand new graphic novel, April 19th. 2023 from Image Comics. Yay! They announced it officially there today, so it's going to be in the preview. So put in your orders and order lots. It's a graphic novel. I can't remember how many pages. It's a hardcover too, which of course I love because everyone knows I love hardcovers. So to actually be able to put a book in the library here with my name on it.
Mm-hmm. That'd be pretty swifty.
It will be indeed. That'll be a special episode. We'll have a party that night. Anyway, speaking of graphic novels, or books anyway, hardcover books, I picked 10 DC Deluxe Edition books that are definitely worth buying. Deluxe Edition, they're sort of not like the big omnibus ones or these fancy big absolute editions on this side, these big really nice ones. Sort of a mid-range kind of book, just nothing fancy, usually small series, like this is a 12-issue series.
The Omega Man, is that like the Alpha Man?
No, the Omega Man. Now this was the one, and this is, as a matter of fact, I think we were talking, it was something he'd done the other week we were talking about, and I mentioned about this.
Does that mean there's a beta boy?
Beta boy? I don't know. Yeah. A Mega Man and a Beta boy. Oh, copyright Luna too, right? And this is the one that it opens up with this guy. It's like the videos at the time with terrorists.
Yes, those traumatizing videos.
Yeah, and that's how this series opens up. And even when I seen it, I was just like, oh good Lord, what's going on here, right? And I read it and I was just like, this ain't a bad book. Now this one's totally crazy, goes absolutely around the bend, but it's worth picking up. The Omega Men, they were a series from the 80s, and this was updated with a lot meaner people involved, and the world's gone to hell type of thing. But the artwork is not bad. It's what's his name again? Darnaby. Bagenda and Lofer. Here. Anyway, beautifully done. One of Tom King's early books. Great artwork. love the artwork in this. So anyway, worth picking up. Actually kind of reminds me of this guy, Alex Nino, now that I think about it. Ooh, now this one here, Challengers of the Unknown. So what I liked about this guy is a really simple artist. Like his drawing style, everything, very simplistic. I love simplistic artwork like that. And this guy actually just died summertime, I think it was, Tim Sale. Great artist, I always loved his stuff, right? And his friend Jeff Loeb. And this was actually the first book they did together, and they did like a lot of books together. They did some cool, I got a bunch of books over there they did.
It's terribly out of tune, this is.
No way. Oh, we'll just pretend. So yeah, great book. I like the colors in it. I mean, what a cool name for. In some ways, they were like sort of an early.
That's cool.
Yeah. This guy, like I said, I loved his style, right? Really nice, yet realistic, cartoony style. We call him. It's like the one artist, Alex Toth, big, who's influenced not only this guy but a lot of artists. So he's a Tothian. Okay, next on our little parade. Oh look, All Star. This was a comic. There's some there from the 50s that they picked up. That ended at issue 57 back in the 40s or whatever, and they decided, hey, let's pick it up again in the 70s with All Star Comics number 58. And I bought that, which is that comic. I bought it as a kid on the stands and just fell in love with the series. DC rules. But yeah, this is a good one. Especially the early issues. There was that was the infamous Power Girl with the and the hole in their uniform. But the art, pretty good. The story was I love the story. Actually, I thought the story was great. And some early Keith Giffen. There's a legend that has it that as the episodes go on, Power Girl there in the white outfit there, with the breast window there for you to have a look at.
I was looking at the crotch shot.
Yeah, but with the breast window, the rumor is he intentionally made her breasts bigger and bigger until they said something to him, right? Just to see what they'd say, right? But yeah, it's a great series anyway. One of my favorite from way back then. Some great work by Joe Stanton too. Okay, next up. Have you ever seen a comic Bone? It's a really weird animated fantasy one. This is by the same guy. This is Jeff Smith's Shazam. You didn't see the Shazam movie, did you? If not, we gotta watch it. It's kind of cool. It's sort of cheesy in the way the comic is, right?
I think my strings are sticky.
Oh no! Oh no! That was me spilling tea all over him. Oh, check this out! Look, this cover too. This is what I like about this. Besides that, the cover falls out into a poster. Yeah! Check that out, man. Not bad. Hope this is focusing on it. So anyway, yeah. But this Jeff Smith, this is the only thing he ever did for DC. I don't think he ever did anything for Marvel. But I don't think he needs to, because I'm sure he made a fortune off of Bone. But he has a very simple cartoony style. But he basically revamps, or doesn't revamp, but retells the origin of this character. The original Captain Marvel was what he was named back then. They call him Shazam now, right? Beautiful. I love the drawing, right? Oh, tiger. That's the tiger. Yeah. It's a great story. I think Mary Marvel even shows up in it. Yeah. One of the classics. I think this was from the 90s. Am I right? 90s, early 2000. I think it was the 90s. I'm almost positive. 2007. Okay. Well, you know, it's close to right. I was only 10 years off. But anyway, this. If you're a fan of Bone and Jeff Smith, you should pick up this one if you can find it. This is long out of print, I do believe. And or if you're a fan of Shazam, it's one of the great Shazam stories. And this is from a character who's as old as Superman, right? Now, remember that All-Star that we were having a look at? This is basically an alternate version of the same superheroes, the Justice Society. This is called the Golden Age. And this was kind of like telling the same story, but it's in a really dark way. This came out the same year as like The Watchmen and a lot of other big comics. I do believe it was 86 that this came out. Let me double check here now. I'm almost positive here. Oh, this is 95. Maybe it was 95. Okay, anyway, this one, great story. One of the great Justice Society stories. And it's all in this. And this came out originally as these little softcover books, not a comic. It came out in 4 little soft covers. What are you up to? I gotta be keeping an eye on you. Anyway, the great art in this one. Yeah, we'll be right back, folks. That's pretty funny. Anyway, great book. So for those of you out there who like the Justice Society, it's worth getting, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm just here.
Yeah, I'm just here having fun watching me trip up over my words and.
Oh, a Batman one. Show people the Batman.
Oh, now this one. This is one of the great Batman stories too. This was DC started. Now this definitely I think was the. It could have been the early 90s. Let's see. No, sometimes it. Yeah, it was. DC had a line of comics called Elseworlds, and they were basically like they take a superhero and do an alternate universe of it. So you'd have like a Superman, but he grew up in Russia, so he was a commie Superman or whatever. This one is Batman in London of the late 1800s, Victorian Batman. And he's after the Ripper, who's come from England to Gotham City, right? Oh no, that's the second story there. But it's drawn by you've seen Hellboy, the movie, haven't you?
Yes.
This is drawn by the creator of Hellboy. And this was actually the first Elseworlds comic that DC did. But it was great. Batman catches Jack the Ripper, essentially. I guess I'm giving away the ending early. But it turns out to be someone he knew. So check it out. Anything Mike Mignola does is worth buying in my mind. This guy knows. And then there was some backup stories, and well, hey, okay, whatever. But the opening one, that's why I bought this book. Okay. Now we'll get down to the final 4 here now. This one I bought.
Mr. Miracle.
Dun, 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 dun. He came out in the early 70s. I love the character, but then they came out with another series later in the it was cancelled, but then they tried to resurrect it, but they got some other the creator Jack Kirby had moved on, so they got some other people to do it, and it was actually pretty good. This one is actually one of my favorites, but this one is cool because it was drawn by this one guy, but each character is inked by someone differently. So you can, when you look at some of them, you can tell that like he looks like he's drawn by a different person than these people, right? Just ever so slightly. So everyone is inked by a different different artist. So they all come out looking ever so slightly different, alright? It's the same pencil artist, but it's just the final inking that they brought in, some for every other character. And then was taken over by this guy, Steve Gerber. I think it was this one. This one, oh no, Steve Englehart. I think it was maybe this one, which I loved. It was Granny Goodness, right? She was one of the scariest grannies you'd ever want to come across, right? Anyway, it was eventually. Oh, I always liked that panel, right? Now there's evil. This was one of my favorite Dark Side drawings, and it was, of course, by Marshall Rogers. And like I say, great series, great art, so worth buying. And Steve Gerber actually writes a couple of issues in this. Steve Gerber was starting with this with Mike Gullen, was better known as the creator of Howard the Duck. So he even gets in some. They're actually not bad stories that when he comes in. I like Mike Gullen, the artist. Now we're down to our final three. Oh, this is one of my favorite stories of all time. It's Manhunter. Dun-dun-dun-dun. It was actually just a backup feature in a Batman comic. The back 8 pages they gave to these guys to do a little story, and so it's like 8-page chapters. And it won for like a little backup feature. It won like six comic book awards. Like, you know, best short story twice, I think, best new artist, best writer, all kinds for a backup feature, you know, in the back of a comic. While the front feature, one of them actually did win the award, but this got them all, and this was actually one of my favorite stories growing up. Oh, no, they don't have the covers at the back. I always like that. Wop, wop, wop. But great, the guy who does this, Walt Simonson, he's one of my favorite artists of all time. What a sad ending, because Manhunter kills himself in the end, but he takes all the bad guys with him. Right?
I see.
And funny enough, it was when I was there was one scene in this. One of the stories that actually did win an award was called Cathedral Peerless. Oh, look at this. This I use this page in my lessons about sound effects in comics, because this scene here, in terms of the is one of the great sound effects pages in comics, right? There, have a look at there. I mean, look. Absolutely. But the Cathedral Peerless, where is it? Let's see. There. This story. When I read the story as a kid, you know, I thought, oh, pretty cool, whatever. And it was only when I was living down in New York and I was volunteering with the Coalition for the Homeless, driving around handing out food, and I was told to meet by the side of St. Bart's Cathedral in Upper Manhattan. And I show up and it's this church.